There is a certain kind of person who goes quiet when family gatherings come up. Thanksgiving, Christmas, weddings, birthdays, reunions, while everyone else is making plans, buying gifts, coordinating schedules. They are sitting with a different kind of feeling. Not excitement, not even dread, really, just a soft, resigned knowing that they will be the one who does not show up, the one who declines, the one who sends a text instead of their presence. And when people find out, they look at you like something's broken, like you are missing out on some universal bond everyone else was born understanding. But it is family, they say, as if those two words should be enough. But here is what they do not see. You are not avoiding family because you do not value connection. You do. You are avoiding them because you finally learned what real connection actually feels like. People who do not go to family gatherings are not cold, they are not damaged, and they are not running from love. They do love. They are just done pretending that showing up is the same thing as being seen. Because somewhere along the way, they realized that the loneliest place you can be is in a room full of people who are supposed to know you, but do not. Their absence is not rejection, it is protection. It is a nervous system that learned the difference between belonging and performing, and maybe, just maybe, they are not missing out on family. They are finally finding it in places where love does not come with conditions, where peace does not require pretending, and where home is something you choose, not something you are born into. Let us talk about what is really happening beneath the surface, because the decision to skip family gatherings does not happen overnight. It is not a switch that flips. It is a slow accumulation of moments where you felt invisible in a crowded room, moments where your truth was met with silence or judgment, moments where you smiled through pain because honesty felt too dangerous. These moments add up like drops of water filling a cup, and one day the cup overflows. You do not decide to stop going. You realize you have been going for everyone else, never for yourself. For most people, family gatherings are supposed to be anchors. They are supposed to feel like safety, like warmth, like coming home. But for some, they feel like performances. You walk through the door, and immediately the costume comes on, the version of you that laughs at the right jokes, avoids the wrong topics, and keeps the peace, no matter what it costs. You become a supporting actor in someone else's idea of what family should look like, and after years of playing that role, you start to forget who you are when the curtain closes. Psychologists talk about something called relational authenticity. It is the ability to be your true self within your relationships. When that authenticity is missing, when you have to edit yourself to be acceptable, your brain registers it as a threat, not a loud, obvious threat, but a quiet erosion of safety. Over time, your nervous system learns that this environment, these people, require you to disappear a little, and disappearing, even partially, takes enormous energy. That is why family gatherings can leave you feeling drained. Even when nothing dramatic happened, you have been managing yourself the entire time. Think about the child who learned early that their feelings were inconvenient. Maybe they were too sensitive, too loud, too quiet, too much, or not enough. They learned to read the room before they spoke. They learned which emotions were acceptable and which ones needed to be hidden. They learned that love in their family was not unconditional. It came with requirements. Be this way, do not be that way. Fit here, do not disrupt. And so they spent their childhood, and maybe their adulthood too, shape-shifting to earn belonging. But here is the thing about borrowed belonging. It never feels like home. You can stand in the middle of your family and still feel like a stranger because they do not know you. They know the version you show them, the version that has been carefully curated to avoid conflict, to keep the peace, to not rock the boat. And after years of that, you start asking yourself a question that changes everything. What is the point of being somewhere I cannot be myself? That question is not rebellion, it is clarity. It is your mind finally catching up to what your body has known for years, that this does not feel safe, that this does not feel like love. That maybe family, real family, is supposed to feel different than this. Now, let us be clear. Not everyone who skips family gatherings had a terrible childhood. Some families are not abusive. They are just disconnected. They are polite but distant, surface level but never deep. You can sit at a table with them and talk for hours, without saying anything real. And that kind of emptiness, that hollow politeness, can hurt just as much as conflict, because at least conflict acknowledges that something matters. But when everything is fine and nothing is real, you are left with a loneliness that has no name. There is a term in psychology called emotional neglect. It is not about what happened. It is about what did not happen. The conversations that never went deep, the feelings that were never acknowledged, the moments where you needed to be seen and no one looked. Emotional neglect does not leave visible scars, but it leaves an ache, a quiet sense that something essential was missing. And when you grow up in that kind of environment, family gatherings become reminders of that absence. You are surrounded by people, but the connection you crave is not there. It never was. So you start declining invitations. At first, maybe you make excuses. You are busy. You are tired. You are not feeling well. But eventually, you stop explaining because the truth is too complicated for people who have never felt what you feel. How do you tell someone that being around your family makes you feel more alone than being by yourself? How do you explain that silence in your own space feels safer than noise in theirs? Most people do not understand that choice. They see family as an obligation, a duty, something you do regardless of how it makes you feel. And maybe for them it works. Maybe their family gatherings are full of warmth and laughter and genuine connection. But for others, those gatherings are minefields. You are navigating old wounds, unspoken resentments, and dynamics that have not changed in decades. You are walking on eggshells, managing emotions, playing referee, or worse, playing invisible. Here is what is fascinating. The people who choose not to go to family gatherings are often the most emotionally aware people you will meet. They have done the work. They have looked at their patterns, their wounds, their triggers. They have realized that just because something is tradition does not mean it is healthy. They have stopped confusing loyalty with self-abandonment, and that awareness, that clarity, is what gives them permission to choose differently, because choosing yourself over obligation is not selfish. It is survival. It is recognizing that your peace matters, that your mental health matters, that protecting your energy is not cruelty, it is wisdom. You are not rejecting family. You are rejecting dysfunction. You are rejecting performance. You are rejecting the idea that love should hurt. But even with that clarity, the choice is not easy. There is guilt, deep, heavy guilt. Because we are taught from childhood that family is everything, that blood is thicker than water, that you owe your family your presence, your time, your loyalty, no matter what. And when you step away from that narrative, even for your own good, the guilt follows you. You wonder if you are being too sensitive, too unforgiving, too harsh. You question whether you are the problem. That doubt is normal because breaking away from family expectations feels like breaking a sacred rule. It feels like betrayal. Even when you are the one who has been hurt, your mind tries to protect the bond even when the bond has been harming you. That is how powerful family conditioning is. It runs deeper than logic. It lives in your nervous system, in your sense of identity, in your understanding of what you owe the world. But here is the truth that changes everything. You do not owe anyone access to you at the expense of your peace. You do not owe anyone a relationship that requires you to betray yourself. And you do not owe anyone forgiveness, presence, or performance just because you share DNA. Love, real love, does not demand that. Real love makes space for you as you are. It does not ask you to shrink. It does not punish you for having boundaries. It does not make you choose between being honest and being accepted. When you realize that, when you truly absorb it, the guilt starts to lift. Not all at once, but gradually. You start to see that choosing not to go is not rejection, it is reclamation. You are reclaiming your time, your energy, your right to feel safe. You are choosing peace over performance. And that choice, quiet as it is one of the bravest things you can do. Let us talk about what happens when you actually make that choice. When you send the text or make the call and say, "I will not be coming this year," the reactions vary. Some people are understanding, some are hurt, some are angry. And some try to guilt you back into compliance. They will say things like, "Family is supposed to forgive," or "Life is short, you will regret this," or "You are being selfish." And every one of those statements is designed to pull you back into the role you have been playing, the role of the person who puts everyone else's comfort above their own. But here is what no one tells you. Their discomfort with your boundary is not your responsibility. Their inability to understand your choice does not make your choice wrong. And their reaction, no matter how loud or how painful, does not change the fact that you deserve to protect yourself. Some families will respect your boundary. They will give you space. They will maybe even reflect on why you needed to step back, but some families will not. Some will double down. They will make you the villain in their story. They will tell everyone you are difficult, distant, ungrateful. They will rewrite history to avoid looking at their part. And as painful as that is, it is also revealing, because a family that cannot respect your boundaries is a family that never truly saw you. They saw a role, they saw an expectation, but they did not see you. And once you see that clearly, the guilt fades even more, because you are not losing connection. You are letting go of the illusion of it. You are releasing the fantasy of what family could be and accepting the reality of what it is. That acceptance does not mean you stop caring. It just means you stop sacrificing yourself for something that was never real. Now, let us address the other side, the quiet, beautiful side no one talks about. What happens when you choose not to go? At first, it might feel empty. The day comes and goes. You see photos online. You hear stories. And part of you wonders if you made the right choice. But then something shifts. You notice the absence of tension in your body. You notice that you are not bracing for impact. You are not managing anyone's mood. You are not performing. You are just existing peacefully, quietly, safely. And in that peace, you start to rediscover yourself, the version of you that was not trying to fit into someone else's expectations. You laugh louder. You rest deeper. You feel lighter. Because for the first time in a long time, you are not carrying the weight of everyone else's emotions. You are not trying to fix what is broken. You are not trying to be enough for people who will never see you as enough. You are just being. That is when you realize this is what family is supposed to feel like. Not perfect, not without conflict, but safe, real, honest. And if your family of origin cannot give you that, you have every right to find it elsewhere. Maybe it is in friendships that feel like home. Maybe it is in chosen family who see you fully and love you anyway. Maybe it is in solitude, where you finally feel met by yourself. Because here is the secret no one tells you. Family is not about blood. It is about presence. It is about being seen, heard, and valued. And the people who do not go to family gatherings are not rejecting that. They are searching for it. They are refusing to settle for the shallow version. They are holding out for the real thing, even if it means spending holidays alone while they find it. There is a concept in psychology called chosen family. It is the idea that the people who truly matter are not determined by genetics. They are determined by care, by effort, by mutual respect. And for many people who have stepped away from biological family, chosen family becomes everything. It is the friend who checks in on hard days. It is the mentor who sees your potential. It is the partner who holds space for your wounds without trying to fix them. It is the community that celebrates you, not despite who you are, but because of it. That kind of family does not happen overnight. It takes time to build. It takes vulnerability to find, but it is worth it. Because when you have spent your life in relationships that required you to perform, being in relationships where you can just exist feels like magic. You do not have to edit yourself. You do not have to manage anyone's perception. You can be messy, complicated, imperfect, and still be loved. That is the difference. That is what real belonging feels like. And maybe that is the tragedy most people miss. The people who do not go to family gatherings are not avoiding connection. They are starving for it. They want it so badly that they refuse to accept the counterfeit version. They would rather be alone and surrounded by people who make them feel alone. And that choice, as painful as it is also deeply hopeful, because it says, I believe real love exists, and I will not stop looking for it. But let us not romanticize the pain, because even with clarity, even with peace, there are moments where it hurts. Holidays can feel heavy. You see families laughing together and part of you aches for what you do not have. You wonder what it would feel like to belong without effort, to be loved without conditions, to walk into a room and feel wanted, not tolerated. That longing does not disappear just because you have made a healthy choice. It sits with you, quiet but persistent, and that is okay. You are allowed to grieve what you never had. You are allowed to mourn the family you deserved but did not get. You are allowed to feel the weight of that loss even as you protect yourself from further harm. Grief and boundaries can coexist. You can honor the pain while still choosing peace. The people who do not go to family gatherings carry a unique kind of strength. It is the strength of someone who has looked at their life and said, "This is not working." It is the strength of someone who chose healing over habit. It is the strength of walking away from what is familiar toward what is healthy, even when the path feels lonely. That kind of strength does not get celebrated. It does not get awards or recognition. But it is profound because it takes courage to break cycles. It takes courage to disappoint people. It takes courage to trust that your peace is worth protecting, even when everyone around you says you are wrong. And here is what is beautiful. The more you honor that boundary, the more you realize how much energy you have been giving away. All those years of showing up, of pretending, of managing, that energy was yours. And now you get to redirect it toward healing, toward growth, toward relationships that actually nourish you. You get to build a life where you do not have to recover from the people who are supposed to love you, where rest feels like rest, not like bracing for the next gathering. Studies in psychology show that people who enforce healthy boundaries report higher levels of emotional well-being and lower levels of anxiety. That is not coincidence. That is proof that protecting your peace works, that saying no to what harms you creates space for what heals you. And the people who have made this choice, who have stepped away from family gatherings, they know this truth intimately. They have felt the shift. They have tasted freedom. And once you know what that feels like, it is hard to go back. Now, does this mean family relationships are beyond repair? Not always. Some families can change. Some people can grow. Some dynamics can heal, if everyone involved is willing to do the work. But that is the key. Everyone has to be willing. One person cannot heal a broken system alone. And if you have been the only one trying, the only one apologizing, the only one bending, at some point you have to ask yourself, why am I fighting for something they are not willing to fight for? That question is not defeat. It is clarity. It is recognizing that repair requires mutual effort. And if that effort is not there, you are not obligated to keep trying. You are not obligated to be the emotional labor for people who refuse to meet you halfway. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to redirect your energy toward people who actually value it. And maybe, just maybe, your absence becomes the boundary that finally gets their attention. Maybe when you stop showing up, they start asking why. Maybe your distance creates the space for reflection that would not have had otherwise. Or maybe it does not. Maybe they never ask. Maybe they never change. And as painful as that is, it is also information. It tells you what you needed to know. Your presence was never the problem. The system was. So where does this leave you? If you are someone who does not go to family gatherings, if you have made that choice or you are considering it, know this. You are not alone. There are countless people walking the same path. People who have chosen peace over performance. People who have chosen honesty over pretending. People who have chosen themselves after years of choosing everyone else. And that choice does not make you broken. It makes you brave. It makes you someone who refused to settle for crumbs when you deserved the whole table. It makes you someone who understood that love without safety is not love at all. It is obligation, dressed up in tradition. You do not owe anyone your presence at the cost of your peace. You do not owe anyone access to you just because they are family. And you do not owe anyone an explanation for protecting yourself. Your boundaries are valid. Your feelings are valid. And your choice, no matter how misunderstood, is valid. Maybe one day family gatherings will feel different. Maybe healing will happen. Maybe bridges will be rebuilt. But until then, you are allowed to stay on your side of the river. You are allowed to build your own version of home. You are allowed to create your own traditions with people who actually see you. Because at the end of the day, the people who do not go to family gatherings are not running from love. They are running toward it. The real kind. The kind that does not ask you to disappear. The kind that does not punish you for being human. The kind that says you belong here just as you are. And maybe that is the greatest gift you can give yourself, the permission to find that love, even if it is not where you expected it to be. Even if it is not wrapped in the package society told you it should come in. Even if it means spending holidays differently than everyone else. You are not missing out. You are choosing differently. And that choice, quiet and misunderstood as it is, might be the most loving thing you have ever done. Not just for yourself, but for the version of you that has been waiting all this time to finally be chosen.